What's going on, my good people? Mike Hidalgo here. Thank you for joining us on another FCP Euro DIY. Today we're going to be working on a 2014 BMW 550i. Today on the 550 behind me, we're going to be doing an oil change job using our Locomolia oil change kit equipped with our Mala oil filter. This DIY is going to be applicable to all BMWs equipped with the V8 N63 drivetrain. However, the S63 is going to be similar. Your weights may change a little bit in oil, but the process is going to be the same. We recommend you do this service every 5,000 miles, and with our lifetime replacement guarantee, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to stick to that interval. Now we know what products we're working with, let's take a look at some of the tools we're going to need for this DIY. For this DIY, we're going to need a couple basic tools, starting with a 3/8 drive ratchet, an 8mm hex. I'm using an 8mm hex on a socket attachment. A small extension just makes it easier to get to. Same thing with the oil filter. A pick tool for removing our seals around our oil filter cap. A torque wrench so we can torque down our drain plug and our oil filter cap. And then a nice to have but not necessary is the CTA no spill European funnel, as well as the CTA oil filter cap adapter. Now we know what tools we're working with on this video. Let's get started on this DIY. All right, my good people, we are under the hood of the F10. Before we get started on this oil change, I'm going to go ahead and remove the oil fill cap. That way everything can kind of flow easier when we're draining our oil. Just going to take that off and set it to the side. And now we're going to hop underneath the F10 and start draining our oil. We're working on a lift today. However, this is a job you can easily do in the garage or in the driveway. So without further ado, let's get to it. To drain our oil, we're going to need a 8mm hex. Drain plug's right underneath here. Usually there's a cover here similar to the one on our oil filter cap that you twist off to remove. This one was missing. I'm going to use an 8mm hex on a 3/8 ratchet. You want to make sure you get the hex up in there all the way. Otherwise you can easily strip these bolts out. This one has a couple markings on there from someone missing the first time around. I'm keeping constant pressure on the drain plug as I unthread it to hopefully be able to do a clean pull, something like that. While that drains, we'll go ahead and remove the cover for our oil filter. You can see it's got directional arrows that say open one way, close the other. It's just plastic, you can pull that off. From there, we're going to use our CTA oil filter removal tool to remove the cap. Obviously, I have a catch pan underneath both of these, so I can catch both of them drain at the same time. We're going to let everything drain for a little bit. We'll clean up our oil filter housing cap, and then we'll show you how to get the new filter prepped for install. All right, my good people, I pulled off the old oil filter. I just want to note, the filter itself has a screen built into it. It's not like the standard ones you'll see on an N52 or N55, where the filter itself has the internal element that goes all the way into the neck of the filter itself. It's just a little nub that stays with the cap. Now we have our new filter. We can grab our new sealing O-ring for the cap itself. I'm using a small pick just to pop the old one off. You always want to replace these every time you do the oil change, just because a bad O-ring like this can give you an oil leak. And they're really only intended for one-time use. You have a dedicated notch in the cap that this O-ring is going to sit in. You want to make sure you don't miss the notch or get it on the threads, otherwise you'll pinch it. With that on there, you want to make sure the screen side of the filter goes into the cap. Something like that. Then we can go ahead and thread this housing back in. Then I'm just using a 3/8 ratchet with a small extension. Snug that up with the ratchet. And then we'll grab our torque wrench and just torque it down to 25 Newton meters. Beautiful. It was already there. With that off, now we can reinstall our drain plug and our new crush washer. Make sure to put your cap back on. You also always want to make sure your old crush washer comes off with the old drain plug. There's the old one. Get our new one. You want to go ahead and torque this down to 40 Newton meters. Again, same 8mm hex we've been working with. Beautiful. And then from there, you would put on your same plastic cover like the one that the oil filter has, button everything up down here. Now let's head back up top and fill this engine up with some oil. Back in the engine bay, we're gonna go ahead and fill up our motor with 9 liters of oil. From there, we can always run it and check it. The capacity for this is 9.5 to be exact. However, you don't always get that out when you drain it. So we're gonna start with 9 and then go from there. Using our CTA no spill European funnel, we'll attach it to our fill tube, and then we'll start pouring. We have about 1 liter left in our bottle. We're gonna go ahead and set this to the side. We'll run it for a little bit and make sure our level's good. And don't forget the liquid moly bottles always come with your interval stickers on here as well. You can write down your mileage for your next oil service, pull it off and stick it in the corner of your windshield. Now with that all set, we'll check our oil level and then we'll cover how to do an oil reset inside the vehicle. Inside the F10, we're gonna go ahead and reset our oil service. To do that, you're gonna press the start-stop button once. Make sure your feet are off the pedals. No reason to press any of them. We're gonna hold the button on the lower left-hand corner of the cluster until we see our reset menu pop up for our oil service interval. This will also allow you to access to your brake fluid, your wear pad sensors, anything else you may be needing to reset. You can see it's presenting brake fluid at the moment. You just press it once to cycle through the options. Here's our engine oil. We're gonna go ahead and hold it. And we're gonna let go and hold it down one more time. And we're gonna keep it held until the bar fills up. And there you go, it's reset. You can see BMW sets an interval of 10,000 miles. You and I both know 5,000 is the most. Using the iDrive, we're gonna wanna go ahead and check the oil level, make sure it is at an okay level after filling it up. You're gonna head over to Vehicle Info, select that. Then you can go to Vehicle Status, select that. And then the car will give you engine oil level okay. At this point, you can go ahead and drive the vehicle for an extended period of time, get it up to temp, and then get the actual level status if you wanted to do that as well. But for us, we just filled it up with the right amount of oil, so we know it's good to go. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments on what we did today, leave them in the comment box below. And if you like this DIY and you want to see more like them, please consider subscribing. We make new ones all the time. As always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.